It is all coming together for this Miami Heat organization. With the Milwaukee Bucks organization falling to pieces over the first round of the playoffs, it seems like disgruntled All-Star Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to find a way out of the Milwaukee Bucks organization, where this Miami Heat team can come in and reset the Bucks organization while also resetting their own franchise. I'm here to break down all of the new Giannis information on this episode of Heat Digest, but first, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you're a part of the near 80% currently watching this video not currently subscribed. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down what Giannis could mean for this Miami Heat organization. Now, we've discussed Giannis and really the falling apart of this Milwaukee Bucks organization recently on this channel, and for good reason, with Giannis being disgruntled and being as good as he is, and the Milwaukee Bucks simply not working from top to bottom, whether it be because of the contract layouts amongst the rest of the roster or the injuries they are currently dealing with. It seems like this team is really on the brink of just flat out crashing and burning. And I mean that literally. Damian Lillard, the second best player on this roster, just went down with an Achilles injury. He is not going to return, obviously, this season for the Milwaukee Bucks, as reported by Shams just a few days ago on April 28th. Now, losing Damian Lillard puts Giannis Antetokounmpo back in the solo driving seat for this Bucks team, where he is simply the judge, the jury, and the executioner. He is solo out there by himself. Yes, Bobby Portis, yes, Kyle Kuzma, and Brook Lopez, and others are on this roster, and they are out there playing minutes alongside of him. But can they be pieces on a championship-level team when there is only one solidified all-star out there on the court for the Milwaukee Bucks? The answer is simply no. They are struggling severely against a team in the Indiana Pacers that no one has coming out of even the Eastern Conference. So just think if the Milwaukee Bucks did match up against the Boston Celtics, a Cleveland Cavaliers team, or really any team out west, and I mean any team, Denver, Houston, Golden State, LA Lakers, LA Clippers, a lot of these teams would give this Giannis Antetokounmpo Milwaukee Bucks team severe problems, because Giannis can't simply do it all by himself. Right now they're facing against the Indiana Pacers, who don't play a lot of defense and solely rely on their offensive game, and still are severely struggling to not only minimize the offense, but as well as keep up with them, which shouldn't be a surprise, as again, they are without Damian Lillard. But why is this so big for the Miami Heat? Well, we've had the conversations about how Miami could go out there and make a splash this offseason involving Giannis, involving Damian Lillard before he got injured, as well as other big names that could possibly be on the market via trade, like Kevin Durant, or other free agents in the open market this offseason. And if we discussed how Giannis would seem like he was going to force his way out of Milwaukee, or it seems like there's a legitimate chance that he would attempt to force his way out of Milwaukee if the Milwaukee Bucks continued to fail miserably, especially in the playoffs, which now we are witnessing firsthand. And again, it doesn't help that Damian Lillard is now not active and the Bucks are short-handed, specifically Giannis Antetokounmpo. But now, with this happening, and with the Milwaukee Bucks having literally no draft capital for the next handful of years, and if you do look at this is the Milwaukee Bucks incoming draft capital and draft picks, if you will. They have one pick in 2025 in the second round via the Detroit Pistons with no protection, so they're getting the worst of the two picks out of the Detroit Pistons picks. And then in 2026 they have two more. And then you go to 27, where they have one, 2028, where they have one. And again, there are a lot of different things going on with that pick involving Portland and a handful of other teams. So we don't know exactly what that pick is going to look like. And again, then now we're into year 2030. That's 5 years away, a full 5 seasons away before those picks and that draft compensation can even become remotely competitive for anyone to even use. And it doesn't get worse there. If you look at the Milwaukee Bucks' current roster and really how the contracts are laid out amongst this roster, it's not good for the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, currently in the 2024-2025 NBA season, where you see a drastic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different players no longer under contract after this following season, so they will obviously go to the free agency market following this season, concluding for the Milwaukee Bucks. Then you have 3 player options, including Pat Connaughton, Kevin Porter Jr., and AJ Green, and Bobby Portis. Those three players will then have the ability to opt in or opt out of a player option, and if they opt out, again, they would be on the open market. Then the three guys at the top, Kyle Kuzma, who's drastically overpaid, in my opinion, is going to be taken care of for the next 2 seasons by this Milwaukee Bucks team. Question is this someone they want to use as a cornerstone for their franchise? Probably not. He wasn't great in Washington. He was playing alongside a bunch of subpar players. He went to Milwaukee to attempt to be the number 2 guy because Chris Middleton simply couldn't get it done, and he obviously then was dealing with injuries and this and that. And then you have Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who are obviously taken care of at least through 2026, 2027 from the Milwaukee Bucks. But now Damian Lillard is dealing with his second Achilles injury, over the last handful of years. Is this someone, again, that you're going to give the keys to your franchise and hope to be the starting point guard for your franchise going forward? And now with all this happening, and again, the Milwaukee Bucks not being the most competitive team in the league, ranking 5th in the Eastern Conference this year at 48-34, 16 games back of the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. Are they going to be able to reload this season while maintaining all of this talent? And is Giannis Antetokounmpo going to want to deal with another rebuild, at least as one as drastic as this one? And now shout out to NBA Central for posting this, citing Shams, who goes on to say that the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo have a meeting scheduled after the season to discuss both his future and the future plans of the team. And I think this has a lot to do with what the current contract situations look like amongst that roster and the lack of draft compensation that they maintain. Now, Miami does not have a bunch of draft compensation themselves, but they have a bunch in a surplus of great young players, including Jaquez, Jovic, Davion Mitchell, I want to say, is untouchable because I believe he might be the starting guard for years to come for this Miami Heat team. Khalil Ware, I again would put in that class of untouchable because of the young potential and overall skill set he does maintain. Duncan Robinson, not the youngest guy of all, but again, Terry Rozier, Pelle Larsson, there are a handful of very good young candidates that could be used in a massive trade to go out and acquire someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, which would greatly help this Bucks team. The Milwaukee Bucks remind me a lot of the Kevin Durant Phoenix Suns that we're currently looking at. Durant being the biggest star on that team, and it seems like he is going to be available this up and coming offseason. Obviously, the Bucks didn't try to shop Giannis at the deadline like the Suns did for Durant, but in the sense of where they're going into this offseason, they are eerie similar. They both have no draft compensation. They're both possibly looking to trade a major star not only on their team, as well as the entirety of the league in Durant and Giannis, to then reset their team, not only with draft compensation, but with player assets to then be a part of their organization, not only next year, but for years to come if they are working in able pieces. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I think the Miami Heat could go in there and make a big splash, move some of these young pieces, plus Rozier, Duncan Robinson, and a few of these draft pieces, draft compensation, to go out there and acquire someone like Giannis. And you may be thinking, why would he ever want to come and play for this Miami Heat team? Well, if you guys don't remember, over the last handful of years, whenever the Bucks did meet the Miami Heat in the playoffs, it was usually in favor of this Miami Heat team. Defensively, schematically, they took care of Giannis and really minimized him to the best degree that they absolutely could, and they found success in doing so. I think Giannis would be more than willing to come learn from someone like Coach Eric Spoelstra, to possibly play alongside someone in Bam Adebayo and even in Tyler Hero, if that is something they're able to do, in the sense of holding on to those two major pieces while moving other assets, whether it be draft compensation or player assets, in order to go out there and get Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's someone who just literally yesterday got in a staring contest in a not a physical altercation, but a vocal altercation with Tyrese Halliburton's dad. It's apparently being blown out of proportion, but visually what we saw directly after the game ending, Giannis wasn't scared. Giannis walked right up to him, and again, he shouldn't be scared. He's 7 feet tall and he's built like a Greek god. He walked up to Tyrese's dad, he got in his face and let him know that he's not scared to have this conversation. He's not scared of what Mr. Halliburton has to say about him or about anything that is going on involving the basketball game or Giannis specifically. And I really like that. It seemed like he had an edge to him. We've always seen Giannis not be a scrappy player, but he's always willing to get on the floor for a loose ball. He's always willing to play defense, especially when with the length and size that he does have. He looks damn good doing it, but also he's not afraid of competition. He's not afraid of contact, and he looks pretty damn good on both sides of the basketball. I think he could be a great fit for this Miami Heat team, which could really revolutionize the culture down here in Miami. The Heat culture would still be a thing, but the boost of having that star player to really lean on and really have hope in, like in Giannis Antetokounmpo, could go a long way in Miami. It would really shut down the noise surrounding Pat Riley, as a lot of people are slandering him and Eric Spoelstra. It seems like they are calling for both of their jobs, as they didn't get the job done again this year. It would quickly shut down all of that talk, as Eric Spoelstra would instantly look like the genius that we all know he is on a basketball court, because again, he would have cheat codes at his fingertips with Giannis then on the team around whatever talent he does continue to have in Miami. And Pat Riley would get his mojo and his edge back and wouldn't be known, as Stephen A. Smith recently addressed him, as no longer that guy, as again, someone that doesn't appeal and bring these star-studded players into Miami. It would get a lot of things done for Miami. I would love to see it happen. Let me know down below what you guys think about Giannis possibly landing in Miami. Thank you guys for watching.